It all seems so easy. You set a goal, then work at it for a few weeks or months, and eventually you achieve that milestone. Seems simple, right? Unfortunately, many people fail with their goals because they don't plan for those random obstacles that often come out of left field. So in today's video, we will talk about the 5 obstacles to achieving your goals and how to overcome them. Now be sure to watch this whole video all the way to the end, because I will also give you a free tool you can use to get started with setting and achieving your goals. And finally, if you enjoy the content of this video, then please help us out by taking a few seconds to hit the like button. Alright, let's get started. Obstacle number 1. Life gets in the way. There's an old military adage that says, the best battle plan is good until the first bullet is fired. The point here is simple. You can map out the perfect plan for achieving a goal, but it won't last that long once you get real-world feedback. Let's face it, we all get sidetracked when unforeseen obstacles happen in our lives. Whether it's an emergency, a new project, a change of plans, or even a different goal, we all have those moments when our plans get derailed due to an unexpected change in our lives. The solution? There is one thing that successful goal achievers do that others don't. They understand that random events often occur, so they plan for them and create a strategy for how they'll respond. One strategy they use is to create an if-then plan. The idea here is to understand the situations that make you deviate from a goal and then create a plan for how you'll handle them. An if-then plan sounds like this. If X happens, then I'll do Y. So to get started, take a look at each of the goals on your list. Ask yourself what causes you to slip or not follow through with your commitments. Then create a series of if-then statements for how you'll handle these random events. For instance, if your goal is to commit to a healthy eating plan, yet you frequently find yourself pulling into a fast food drive-through restaurant after work, then you could create an if-then plan like, if I keep eating fast food after work, then I will take a different route on my way home from work where I won't drive past any fast food restaurants. Simple solution, right? Just rinse and repeat this process until you've established an action plan to handle the obstacles for each goal. Obstacle number 2. You don't have motivation. Sometimes it's easy to give up on a goal because you're simply no longer interested in that outcome. And often, you find yourself procrastinating on this goal because it just doesn't seem all that important. The solution? There are 2 quick fixes for this problem. First, you can eliminate the goal. You created it, so there's nothing wrong with realizing a goal isn't working. So you could get rid of it and focus on something else. The second fix is to celebrate specific accomplishments and milestones. It's easy to get dragged down by the daily drudgery of going after long-term goals. Usually, this happens when a major accomplishment requires willpower on a daily basis, like writing, exercising, or eating healthy. Some people are so focused on the end prize that they don't take time to smell the proverbial roses. You can overcome this obstacle by creating mini milestones and celebrating each accomplishment. This celebration doesn't have to be a big event. Simply treat yourself to an extra hour of TV or a manicure. The key here is to get into the practice of enjoying those small successes. If you're looking for specific reward recommendations, then check out the description box where we'll link to an article about 155 ways to reward yourself. Obstacle number 3. Too many goals, too little time. Another challenge is to avoid bouncing from one goal to another without making genuine progress. This often happens because plans are exciting, but doing them requires discipline. The end result is many people become experts at making plans without taking consistent action on them. The solution? First, it's important to pare down your list to a maximum of 5 goals. This will prevent you from being pulled in a million different directions. To learn more, watch our video about Warren Buffett's 25-5 rule for setting priorities in life. Next, once you've established a list of 5 goals, focus on them using a top-down approach. Make sure to start each day by focusing on the number 1 goal and then scheduling time for the other 4. When you do each depends on your schedule. The important thing is to prioritize what truly matters and spend the majority of your time on these activities. To get started, we encourage you to watch our video that explains the power of focusing on your one thing. Finally, it's important to understand where each goal fits in your life. Ask yourself these questions. Is this goal meaningful? How does it fit in with my long-term plans? Am I missing out on other things by focusing on it? Is there a better goal I could pursue? Ask these questions on a weekly basis to gain clarity on your goals. If you find that you keep procrastinating on a particular goal, then that's a strong indicator you need to change or eliminate it. Obstacle number 4. Experiencing consistent failure. It's easy to give up on a goal when all you see is failure. Either you keep making a series of mistakes, or you're encountering obstacles that you originally didn't anticipate. The end result is the same. Your plan for achieving a goal has turned into a failure. Unfortunately, this obstacle is the worst of the bunch, because while the desire is still there, your efforts aren't generating results. The solution? I recommend a 2-step process for overcoming those moments of failure. First, you need to recommit to the goal. Often, a major obstacle means a goal is no longer worth pursuing. Perhaps it will take too much time, money, or effort to overcome. Maybe your desire has hit rock bottom. Or perhaps the goal is more grueling than you originally anticipated. If any of these things happen, then you should take time to see if it's worth continuing with the goal, like you would do with obstacle number 2. If you've completely lost the drive to continue, then it's okay to give up and focus on something else. Second, if you do want to continue with the goal, then focus on learning a lesson from this obstacle. Ask yourself these questions. What went wrong? Is there something I could have done differently? Does this failure open the door for a new opportunity? What should I do moving forward? You can learn a lot by examining a specific obstacle. In fact, an obstacle often provides more long-term value than the successful achievement of a goal. To quote a line from Game of Thrones, "A bruise is a lesson, and each lesson makes us better." Obstacle number 5. People say that your goal will fail. We often encounter resistance from other people when they hear about our goals. This resistance usually takes one of 2 forms. The first is when someone who genuinely cares about you makes a comment that triggers your doubts and makes you question your goals. The second is when someone tells you flat out you will fail. Maybe the person is jealous of you, or maybe he thinks your success will hurt their self-image. No matter the reason, some people will try to derail your progress before you even get started. If you want to learn more about how to overcome these statements, watch our video about the crabs in a bucket mentality. The reason why someone makes a negative comment is irrelevant. What does matter is their words can have a devastating impact on your psyche. Often we sabotage our efforts because it's easy to believe the negative feedback we get from others. The solution? It's important to first understand the underlying reason behind each piece of criticism. That way, you'll know what response is appropriate. The first type of criticism can be helpful because it identifies potential obstacles. If someone raises a consideration you initially didn't anticipate, then you can use it as an opportunity to create a plan for how you'll handle the potential obstacle. This goes back to obstacle number 1. When you have a solid if-then plan for each situation, you'll be fully prepared to respond if it ever occurs. The second type of criticism comes from people who aren't happy with your desire to improve yourself. These are the friends, family members, or coworkers who act like they have your best interests at heart, but often say things that are hurtful, even detrimental to your success. How do you handle this type of person? If it's someone who is a permanent part of your life, like a family member, then avoid talking about your goals around them. You can still enjoy being around them. The difference is, you won't share the goals-oriented part of your life. On the other hand, you'll often talk to negative people who aren't really part of your inner circle. My advice? Stop spending time with them. Life is too short to be around people whose biggest export is negativity. Get these people out of your life and surround yourself with people who inspire you to focus on your important long-term goals. So with that in mind, let's talk about the free tool that I promised in the introduction of this video. On our blog, we have a completely free SMART goal template you can use to print out and track each of your important goals. The link to this template is in the description box of this video. Finally, if you want to take immediate action on the process that you just learned, then click and watch our video about the SMART goal concept with 21 examples.